Now, we're gonna make sure that the audio levels and everything are all right this time. Because yeah, it was easy to, like, you'd think, how could you miss something like that, like your microphone being muted for a freaking 2-hour stream? But the way it is you get, for some reason, there's like some weird static that comes over the microphone when it's, or my old microphone. I've got a new one now, but there's like some weird static that comes over the old microphone when it's muted. So I could see the microphone bar like moving up and down as I was talking, and so it's like, oh, it seems to be going at a reasonable level, but it was actually just static the whole time. What actually clued me into it is that there is like a very dim blinking light on the base of the microphone stand that kind of alerts you to when you're muted. Like, it's just a solid light when you're good to go, and then it sort of starts blinking when it's muted. And it used to be really clear, like it used to be really obvious, like when you're muted and when you're recording. But like it's a pretty old microphone at this point. I've had it for like probably 4 years or thereabouts. So the light is really dim now, so I couldn't actually tell that it was blinking until, like, 2 hours into the stream. And anyways, now that I've just been sat here talking through like the first half of the Chrono Trigger intro already, I kind of just want to sit through the rest of this now, because like I talked about way back at the beginning of the Chrono Trigger playthrough, I just love this intro. I think more RPGs should do something like this, just to like really like show off the game and show you all the cool stuff that's in store for you, and just get you really excited to just go in and play through it. And I guess a lot of RPGs don't have enough like cool stuff to show off in that regard. But yeah, this game, yeah, I'm trying to think now. Like, Secret of Mana, you could probably put together like a really decent highlight reel to get you really excited to play Secret of Mana. Final Fantasy VI, a lot of SquareSoft RPGs have like some really just good music and really cool, like visually interesting scenes to kind of show off. Whereas I'm trying to think, like, something like Lufia, I don't know what you would really show. It's a lot of just, like, static sprites walking around even during the cutscenes. But, yeah. I'm just gonna watch this through to the end, because I just love this opening. I'm trying to think now, what are some, like, off-brand... Because Squaresoft RPGs were almost the only ones that I ever played back in the day. Like, I played all the RPGs, but the Squaresoft ones were the best ones. They were the ones that I've returned to over and over and over again. Like, I played through Lufia 1 and 2, like, once back in the day. I can't even think of any other, like, non-Squaresoft RPGs I would have played. But I would have played through... Or Breath of Fire, I didn't even finish Breath of Fire 2. I still don't think that's a very good game to this day. Oh, now the question is, are we going to have problems with like the save file and stuff? I don't think we are. Yeah, 6 minutes in, Millennial Fair, level 49. That looks like our New Game Plus file right there. So this is actually a lot of this is actually gonna be fairly repetitive right here, since what we're basically gonna end up doing is just fighting Lavos like basically 10 more times by the time we're done all of this. Yeah, I totally know the latest gossip. Oh yeah, we decided we were going to be like a goody two-shoes, good little boy playthrough this time, right? Yeah, I think we did all that. We returned the girl's cat. We made sure that Morrow bumped into us. We didn't eat the old man's lunch. Yes, we're good for not doing bad things to get dinged at the trial. Oh yeah, I guess we got to get through this still too. Ugh. I really want to drag her by the arm like some kidnapper so badly. It's just... Come on, there's 2 types of candy. It can't take you that long. Like, there's pink ones and there's orange ones. It can't take that long to pick, certainly. Just get one of each. You're a frickin' princess. We have all of our money. Or actually, no, we don't. I never realized that. You don't actually keep your money in the New Game Plus playthroughs. Like, we could sell, like, I don't know, like a Mega Elixir or something and be set for, like... Or actually, I don't even think there's anything we need to buy in the shops anyways. Or actually, you know what it is? It's the what is it? The beef jerky. is the one thing that you actually need to buy for like a full 100% playthrough. Actually, if you want to be a badass, you can actually solo Lavos at this point by going to the blinking light. Right now, like just at this moment, Marl actually leaves your party for you to try out the telepod. So if you want to be, like, I don't know, for style points, for what would probably be like a, you know, a PlayStation trophy or whatever if this game were on PlayStation. Is this game on PlayStation? Even if it is, I don't think they have trophies for like the old classic games and stuff. Because, yeah, Chrono Trigger was released on PlayStation, and it was kind of a shitty version of the game. But, yeah, they could justify, like, re-releasing, what was it? It wasn't even, like, called Chrono Trigger. It was, like, the Final Fantasy Chronicles or something. And it included, like, Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI. Which is kind of a... I think it was something like that. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was included in, like, a little compilation called Final Fantasy something that had, like, yeah, this game and... I think Final Fantasy 4 or 5 or 6 or something. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look it up. I even owned that thing, like, way back in the day. There are a couple different ones. I think there was one that was, like, 5 and 6. I don't remember. Basically, there was Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, and Chrono Trigger, and they were kind of split between two collections that had 2 games each on them. I think that's how it worked out. Yeah, this was in the days kind of before cutscenes skip, so we're going to be going through a lot of old dialogue and stuff that we've seen before already. No, are we done here? Oh, actually, I don't see the blinking light anymore. Can we? I'm not even going to try it, but I think we've actually lost our opportunity to go fight Lavos. Oh, yeah, and speaking of opportunities to, yeah, go fight Lavos and see the endings. So, yeah, we don't actually... Like, your first... In a regular playthrough, the first time you can fight Lavos is when you get to the end of time. Because that little blinking light on the telepod doesn't exist unless you're in New Game Plus mode. So you can't actually, like, do the thing we did in the last stream where we went on the telepod and fought Lavos right here. You can't actually do that unless you've already beaten the game and are going through again in New Game Plus mode. But, yeah, in a normal playthrough, your first opportunity to fight Lavos is once you first get to the end of time. But, I'm trying to think of, like, all the times you need to go through and, like, all the different, basically, timing windows you have to get the different endings. I believe we need to do... We basically need to, yeah, do the Chrono Marl versus Lavos fight again once we get back from the Middle Ages. But this can go super quick now. We don't need to bother, because yeah, first playthrough we were super thorough. We talked to all the NPCs and stuff. I think it's actually a little bit faster probably to just do this animation once. I think that's a little like the attack animation is faster, but we'd have to wait for the bar to fill 3 times. I think it's faster to just lightning to everything. Question is, can we avoid these guys? No, we can't. Actually, yes, we can, I guess, strictly speaking. Because it's just kind of a waste of our time to even bother with these guys. Yeah, this game... Actually, it's funny. This game is so generous with, like, letting you avoid battles. It's like, not only are more than half the battles, like, just here on the... Like, you know, you've got, like, the on-screen battles. You don't... Not the random battles, but, like, the enemies walking around on the overworld or whatever. And you can just avoid half of them, like we avoided those guys kicking the roly-poly right there. Actually, what do we have equipped right now? Because I think... Okay, so we do have the gold studs, so yeah, we can just lightning too on everything that comes by. I think we still want to try and pick up the tabs as we see them, though, if I can remember where those are. But yeah, even apart from the fact that you can actually just... like, not encounter the enemies in the first place most of the time. You've got a runaway command that works, like... It works, like, 90% of the time. There's, like, some encounters you can't run away from. But yeah, or I should say, like, when it works 100% of the time, and it doesn't even cost you anything to use it. Because I remember, like, way back in the day, you get to, you get to the old, like, you know, classic turn-based systems. Like, you're actually wasting turns every time you attempt to run away. Like, I think even starting with, like, the very first active time system was maybe like that. I'm trying to think if FF4, like, did the thing, because the normal way to run away in Final Fantasy games from the SNES onward is to hold down on the shoulder buttons. That's how you do it here. Whereas back before that, you'd select run from the menu, and it would take up your turn, and it would really suck if it failed. But anyways, yeah, it makes the game like really amenable actually to these New Game Plus playthroughs, since it's so easy to avoid enemies in the first place, and even if you do end up fighting them, you can just run away. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we need up around here. Although, I don't know, I guess we can just grab the treasure chests as they come. Oh, tonic, that'll come in handy. That'll keep us from getting slaughtered by Lavos for sure. So yeah, I guess I've kind of like said everything I had to say about this game the first time through. I guess we could talk a little, because yeah, we got like a lot of downtime to just like, I don't know, shoot the shit about whatever. I don't know, if anyone's actually watching right now, like, I don't know, do an AMA, ask me questions, I don't know. Actually, one thing I could talk about, I guess, is the way that New Game Plus is kind of carried forward into sort of games past this, because as far as I know, Chrono Trigger was the first game to ever do this whole New Game Plus thing, where you like go through the game again with all of your end game stats and equipment and all of that. And it's not really that many games that have done it since, and in fact, certainly not any games in like the immediate aftermath of Chrono Trigger. Like none of the other Final Fantasy games, as far as I know, have ever done New Game Plus. Or I think that's not entirely true. I think Final Fantasy 13 or one of the Final Fantasy 13 sequels let you do New Game Plus. Or actually, what's it called? Final Fantasy 13-2 certainly did, because Final Fantasy 13-2 did like New Game Plus in basically the same way Chrono Trigger did, where you could like go back and not fight the final boss, but win like other unwinnable fights throughout the course of the game to get different endings. So it was like kind of did it the same way that Chrono Trigger. Actually, Final Fantasy 13-2, that might be one to stream someday, because I actually like that game quite a bit. I don't know what it is with like the Final Fantasy like sequels, like the sequels to the main numbered series, like because Final Fantasy X-2 and I think Final Fantasy 13-2 as well might be like some of my favorite games in the Final Fantasy series, just of like the mainline numbered ones. Like Final Fantasy 5 and 6 are way up there too, and I'm kind of less a fan of okay, what's Luca's equipment? Okay, yeah, we got our hide cap. Yeah, we want Vigil hat. We want Prism dress. Or does Chrono... Okay, yeah, Chrono's all decked out still. And what's... Oh, yeah, I guess we want the... Or actually, no, we wanted... Oh, we don't get the Tabin suit anymore. That sucks. So she's down to, like, 9 speed again. So, yeah, we do actually want to get her that... wasn't a speed belt. There was a speed plus 3 somewhere. Wasn't there? Oh, or did we put it on Marl? Oh, that's right. We put it on Marl, and now she's gone. I guess that's fine, because, like, we'll want it on Marl again anyways once she gets back and we fight Lavos, but, yeah, that's fine. But, yeah, it's actually mostly action games I can think of that do the New Game Plus thing. Like, Dark Souls and, like, yeah, the Dark Souls series, that game does New Game Plus, but it does it in a kind of different way, where it's like you keep your end game stats and equipment, but the game is actually harder the second time around. It's almost like classic arcade style, where it's like you loop the game back to the beginning, and it gets harder and harder on each successive loop. And I guess if you consider that to be a form of New Game Plus, then actually, like, old arcade shoot-'em-ups had New Game Plus modes in that fashion as well. Where, yeah, a lot of the old 2D arcade shoot-'em-ups would loop back to the beginning after you finish the game, and it would just get harder and harder every time until it just gets basically impossible. Which I guess is a bit of a way of keeping things interesting, but isn't really in the spirit of the way that Chrono Trigger handled New Game Plus. Like, it's kind of a different... almost like a kind of a different game design concept going on there. Where it's like it's more like you're extending the game rather than sort of like almost an easy mode. Like, actually, we're playing through Mega Man Legends right now, and after you beat the game the first time, it unlocks an easy mode where you start the game with like this stupid, crazy, overpowered weapon that just lets you breeze through the game at your will. Sort of like how some games also unlock like level select. Like Sonic 3 and Knuckles lets you get level select after you've beaten the game. Just sort of, I guess, increases sort of the accessibility of the game, makes it a bit easier to go through and pick out and replay the parts that you like, or if you just want to experience the story. Yeah, I guess in like action games, it's more like go back and see the things that you want to see, or re-experience the parts of the game that you like the best. Whereas in RPGs and that type of thing, it's more like just experience the story again without having to worry about like the combat and the strategy and all of that. Frankly, I think that there's sort of an argument going on these days about the notion of difficulty in games and whether or not the players should have to like work to see the endings of games, or how to describe it. Yeah, just the notion... Dark Souls is the game that this sort of argument pops up around the most. Where it's like, should the game have an easy mode? And some people say no, because challenge is what the game is all about, and you just need to get good, and you're sort of robbing yourself of the experience if you were to sort of cheat your way through the game by playing on easy mode, or something like that. Oh! Huh. Apparently, we've never actually put Chrono and Luca, or Luca and Frog in a party together. I wonder what other double text they might have. Or, okay, I mean, that's certainly... I don't think we've done, like, any of these before. Okay. We're gonna continue our little double and triple tech exhibition, then. We don't need to show it off on regular enemies, though. We can just do it on Yakra. Although I guess while we're here... Okay, so what do we got? We got red pin. Okay, so that's basically just like a flame sword type thing. We got line bomb. Ooh, that looks promising. Is this like a falcon hit type thing? Oh, it is too! This is basically like Luca and Frog's version of falcon hit. That's actually pretty badass. Do these guys actually have like amazing double techs or something? Have I been missing out on this like great like tag team combination here the whole time? I did the math on how many party combinations there are at some point, but yeah, there's quite a few, so it's hard to get through like all of them in a single playthrough unless you're keeping track. Oh yeah, I think we actually missed this on our first playthrough. I think there's like a tab in here or something like that. Oh god, a speed belt. Or wait, we have the speed belt though, so we must have come through here the first time. Yeah, she's like actually wearing it right now. Oh yeah, we gotta get... Oh, that's right. That's right. Frog's best... Oh, I keep forgetting that, because yeah, Frog's best weapon in the game is actually the Masamune, so... And you don't actually get the Masamune except as a plot item, like way later on in the game. Okay, we need to make sure that we keep a Vigil hat open for Marl, though. Or I guess actually, now that we've got our second... belt, or yeah, there we go, second speed belt, we might as well put it on him. Yeah, that all looks good to me. Because yeah, if you really want to use Frog a lot in New Game Plus, then you want to keep his second best sword, so you actually have something to put on him. Okay, actually, although Chrono's the one with the gold pin, so it's probably best just to have him do Lightning 2 on these guys. But anyways, there's sort of the ongoing argument of, yeah, difficulty in games and whether or not basically whether or not unskilled players deserve to, like, see the content of the video games they own, which is, I mean, that's not the full argument. Like, I actually do kind of sympathize with the notion that, players can sometimes sort of end up robbing themselves. The notion, I guess, that gamers sometimes don't know exactly what it is they want until they've tried it. Like, there's the idea if you put an easy mode into something like Dark Souls, a bunch of people will just go for that immediately. Some people who might have otherwise actually tried the normal mode and really enjoyed it, but who would have had no choice but to do normal mode otherwise, and might have enjoyed it and learned, and, you know, had a new type of experience and sort of learned that maybe they enjoy difficult video games after all. So there's the notion of, like, yeah, sort of forcing people to try things that out of their comfort zone, and sort of introducing them to new and superlative gaming experiences, whether that's what they're looking for or not. But on the other hand, there's the notion of freedom, and, like, you know, I bought this frickin' game, so I should get to see the content in it, whether or not I, you know, care to put the practice in to get good at it or not. And that's kind of the argument I'd say I lean towards more. I think it would just be better if, like, most or every video game had, like, an easy mode. Like not even just an easy mode, but like a Game Shark, like invincibility, like cheat your way through the game practically mode. And then, you know, then it's just sort of up to the players to discipline themselves and not use it if that's not how they're going to best enjoy the game. Or that's a useless switch right there. Man, I'm super paranoid about the audio levels now, since I, like, lost the entire last stream because of it. But I don't know, the bars are moving up and down. They're, like, actually moving up and down when I speak, and it's not just, like, static or whatever. Okay, it looks like it's going good, so we'll just, oh right, and my internet's not crapping out or anything. Okay, it looks like everything's good. But yeah, it's also really surprising that more RPGs don't have that kind of easy mode feature, because if anything, like, you could, I don't think it's correct, but you could certainly make the argument that a significant portion of the enjoyability of a lot of action games comes from their difficulty. Like, there would be, like, people say that there would be no point to Dark Souls if it weren't difficult, or even to like a very, like, fast-paced, like a brawler, like fast-paced action game like Devil May Cry or something. There'd be no point to Devil May Cry or Bayonetta if there were an easy mode in there, because those games are all about mastering the combat and pulling off, like, crazy combos and whatnot. Although, interestingly enough, I think Bayonetta, one of the Bayonetta games, or maybe both of them, actually did have like a baby easy mode where it's just like one button supers and that type of thing, where you can just, like, touch a button and, like, automatically kill all the enemies. And that's the thing. That's the thing, is that most games are like I don't know how to describe it. There's, like, the gameplay experience, like the experience of, like, playing the game, the challenge of the game, and all that. And then there's also, like, this sort of aesthetic stuff surrounding that as well, where you've got, you know, the story, the graphics, all that stuff. Where it's like some people can enjoy something like Bayonetta on the level where it's just like you press a button and you see, like, a bunch of flashy animations. I actually used to enjoy fighting games back in the day. I can't actually play fighting games. I have, like, stupid turtle reflexes. I can't do controller inputs properly. Like, I am actually the worst person ever, possibly, at fighting games. Like, on the rare instances, like in the gaming club back at the university, like on the rare instances, the gaming club would get together and do game nights. They'd have like a console open for like rounds of Street Fighter and Soul Calibur and those types of games, and I'd join in on those every once in a while, and I would literally never win a single match. And like sometimes I'd play like fighting games at friends' houses as a kid, and I'd lose like literally every single match. I'd even like I'd try to strategize and be clever about it, and it's just like I can't think quickly enough to play those types of games. It's the same with RTS games for me as well. I just can't think quickly enough. My mind is like running behind, like way behind the action on screen. It's like I'll think of a plan of action, and then it's already time to do something else. I've already missed my window of opportunity by the time I've thought it out. But nevertheless, I used to rent fighting games back in the day, just because fighting games were some of the most visually impressive games back in those days, and still are kind of to this day. You got like the big, like character sprites, or like the zoom or highly zoomed in, or you kind of zoom in on the character models a bit more because the action is a bit more up close. It's kind of you sort of get sort of bigger and more detailed characters and that type of thing. So it's a very, very visually impressive in that way. Like there's not any other game genre where you'll see like look on the Super Nintendo. There's not another genre where you'll see like bigger and more detailed character sprites than in a fighting game. Because like the two characters fighting each other, it's like very tightly constrained. Two characters fighting each other one-on-one. So it's like the characters' designs are kind of front and center right there, and like big flashy combat animations, and that's like basically what the game is about. It's like these big detailed characters doing big flashy like fighting animations against each other, and it's like really visually impressive. And I used to enjoy fighting games back in the day on that level, where I would just go in like, you know, 2-player practice mode essentially, and just try out all the special moves and see all the animations, and that would be it. And then I'd use like cheat codes to get through the story mode or whatever with each character. Because I'd even putting it down to the easiest the easiest setting in most fighting games, I could do it, because like yeah, the easy modes on most fighting games are like you know, like baby easy, where it's like you can't like the enemy will just stand there and occasionally throw a punch every few seconds. Although some fighting games did the thing where you have to play on a certain difficulty setting to get the true ending. Like I think actually the Street Fighter games on the old 16-bit consoles worked that way, if I remember correctly. But yeah, anyways, I understand where sort of the people who wanting the easy modes are coming from, because I basically like enjoy. I used to enjoy fighting games on that very shallow, superficial level of just wanting to see all of the characters and animations and the what little story there was and all of that. And RPGs are the games where it makes even more sense to have that type of thing, where it's like, because our RPGs are like often more about or if not more, then at least as much about story and as gameplay. And frankly, more story than gameplay, I'd say, for most console RPGs, especially back in these days. Like the gameplay in pretty much any given like Final Fantasy or any Squaresoft RPG is like extremely shallow when you look at it, like especially compared to like Western RPGs, where you've got like real-time combat and like you don't have like, you know, like leveling systems where you're picking from like a wide variety of skills and stuff. Oh, hey Saturn Meteor, what's up? Good to see ya. But now I need to get better at reading chat and commentating at the same time, because as soon as something pops up, or I guess it's the same with just playing games too. I can hardly play games and commentate at the same time as well. But the thing is, long XP farming is like, nobody likes long XP farming. Like, I don't think that's a viable solution to the notion of putting an easy mode in RPGs. Like, sure, if Final Fantasy is too hard for you, you can sit around and grind goblins like for several hours until you're level bullshit and can get through anything easily. But that's not a fun experience. What's even the point of like what is even the point of having that in the game as an excuse for like accessibility, when you might as well just like cut out the grind and give people an easy mode where they can just go through and at their own pace, or not even at their own pace, just like breeze through the game and see the story. Now that I think of it, okay, so yeah, now we need to go and do Lavos again. So this is most of what we're going to be doing on these playthroughs. Is just fighting Lavos over and over again. It's actually going to get easier, actually, because these first two sort of windows of opportunity to get the bonus endings. Like these first two are the only ones where you don't have a full party. From here on in, like after this next ending, we're gonna be able to have a full party of 3 characters, and that's gonna make things way, way easier. But yeah, we need to check her equipment. Yeah, dash ring, that's the one. So yeah, she's got that already. Oh yeah, that's right. We're eventually gonna be able to get her that that awesome bow that we missed out on. Because hey, we actually fucked up the best bow in our first playthrough. Is there anything better than the gold stud, really, for Chrono? Like, he's going to be doing a lot of Luminaire in these fights. Are Metroidvanias between RPG? It depends on the Metroidvania. Like, some Metroidvanias, especially in the wake of Symphony of the Night, are like proper RPGs, where you... Or not proper RPGs, but have what they call RPG elements, where you're... Where's the... Oh, here's the inn. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say we don't need the inn because we can just eat the old man's lunch, but yeah, we're not doing that on this playthrough. Like, it depends on what you mean by RPG. Like, what video games mean by RPG elements is actually very different from what, like, RPG elements actually are. There's kind of a long... like history of like how RPGs started, because of course RPGs originated as like a tabletop gaming term. Like the original RPGs back in the day were things like GURPS and Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not super familiar with like the history of early tabletop RPGs, but they like that's where the whole RPG thing originated. And sort of the whole numbers and you know, character creation and choosing skills and dice rolling and tactical combat and all of that sort of originated by necessity, like for tabletop RPGs back in the day to kind of do their thing. I forget how this worked. Do we actually need to go through all of the boss refights going through this way? But yeah, again, it comes down to what you mean by RPG elements, because a lot of the time what people mean by RPG elements in video games are like the whole number crunching aspect of tabletop RPGs. That's kind of the only thing that really made the transition into the early computer RPGs. Oh yeah, she'll haste herself. And we're gonna do a confuzz on this guy. And then, so yeah, it's like, and you saw, like, sort of, even a lot of the early computer RPGs sort of try to integrate that aspect of, like, story and role-playing and that type of thing. Like, I actually played some of the early Ultima games, and in a lot of ways, like, those early, like, really early, like, 80s computer RPGs, like Ultima, like, really made an attempt to go for the whole, like, role-playing and sort of non-linear storytelling and that type of thing. More so even than a lot of like the JRPGs that would follow in the 90s on consoles. Okay, is there a double tech? Is Ice Sword 2 better than because if not, Marl is basically useless in this fight. I forget how we did this last time. Okay, looks like that is slightly better, and Marl's got nothing better to do with her time anyways. Actually, that's not entirely true. She can heal. We're gonna do another Ice Sword. But yeah, like for the longest time though, when you see in like video game magazines, they talk about RPG elements. What they mean isn't like you know, like decision points and like non-linear stories and like role playing and character building and that type of stuff. Isn't what they mean by RPG elements. What they mean is is basically number crunching. Is your character basically your character has different stats, and the numbers go up over the course of the game. And sometimes there's like a bit of an element of character building, where it's like, you know, you'll choose abilities as you increase in levels, or buy new abilities by spending some resource. Like, in that sense, you could say, like, Devil May Cry has RPG elements, because you're collecting, like, whatever it is, the red orbs to unlock new skills and that type of thing. So it's like, even almost every modern game has these types of so-called RPG elements to them. Like, almost every, like, modern video game, like, people have realized that, like, character building and, like, skill systems and, like, character customization is, like, a really appealing thing to a lot of people. So it's like almost every modern game, even especially modern action games, has that type of thing now, where you'll be gaining experience points and unlocking skills over the course of the game. That's just, like, standard for, like, every big AAA game these days. Actually, we got some ethers, so we might as well use them. But yeah, as far as, like, proper RPG elements, like, I'm actually... yeah, we got, like, 1 billion elixirs, so I feel fine using up all of our little ethers now. Okay, this is the hard part. Because, yeah, this is basically going to go exactly the same as the last time we did this fight, because we're on New Game Plus, and we're fighting chuddy early game enemies, so we're not getting anything that's really helping us in this fight since the last time we did it. But yeah, so anyways, going back to your to the notion of, like, Metroidvanias as RPGs, I don't know. I don't know. It sort of goes back to the idea that, like, any game where your character increases in strength over the course of the game is an RPG. Like, I don't know, that's a little bit too broad for me. Like, there's the aspect of exploration as well, but I think you really do need, like, the kind of the story element as well to really properly say that a game is RPG-like. Like, Castlevania 2, I think, was RPG-like. That game had towns and NPCs, and there were, I'd say, more adventure game elements than RPG elements, but there's kind of a blurred line between the two, where adventure games are also largely about storytelling and exploration and that type of thing. But on the other hand, some Metroidvanias do. So yeah, that's an example of kind of a pseudo or even proto-Metroidvania that kind of has those RPG elements. Hollow Knight is another good example. There's actually a lot of NPC dialogue in that game. I actually played Hollow Knight for the first time just over Christmas holiday. I actually, like, really loved it to the point where I wish that I had streamed it. Thing is, I don't know, I wasn't sure I wanted to do a blind playthrough of, like, a brand new game. Or not a brand new game, but a game that was new for me. Or actually, we actually want Marl to heal herself first. Because, yeah, we're about to get walloped at the end of his kind of cycle here. We want to make sure that she survives to Life 2 on Chrono. Yeah, this is how we're going to do. We're just going to have Chrono confuzzle all of the enemies. Or actually, why am I doing Confused? Luminaire is, like, way more cost-effective, because we need to do both the arms right now. Like, in terms of RPG balancing, like, actually, there isn't that much, like, hardware that goes into it. I'd say that telling, like, complex, non-linear stories is the more difficult technical feat. Like, if you look at something like I was talking about earlier, like, I think it was Ultima 4. Like, the type of story that game could tell was heavily limited by, like, the constraints. Like, you were looking at the point where, like, text, like, putting text into the game was, like, the kind of thing where it's like, well, we can't put too much text in because we've only got so many megabytes of space for this thing. And also the limits of, like, the text parser, too, because back in those days, those were the types of the days when you had, oh shit. If we'd have been Luminairing, we could have killed that arm before he got to that attack, and now we're maybe fucked. And yeah, not just so yeah, you had space limits, and then you had like the limits of the text parser as well, where it's like the main way that you interacted with the world and with the NPCs in a lot of those old adventure games and old RPGs was you would like type words, and then the parser would try to interpret what it is that you want to do. It's like you would talk to an... I should show off Ultima 4 sometime on stream, just because it's a very interesting little game. Just from a historical perspective, if you're interested in like the development of like the RPG genre in video games and whatnot. But it's like the NPC, like you'd talk to an NPC and he'd say something about like a monster in the castle to the east, and you could type in like east or castle or monster, and he would go into more detail about those topics. But so there were like a bunch of different words you could type in to sort of say different things, go along different sort of conversation paths with the NPCs. But you don't want to throw in so much where it becomes overwhelming. And you can sort of see that and sort of kind of the way that those old games can be a bit annoying to play. Like as an example, like Ultima 4, you have like basically almost every letter key on the keyboard is used for something or other. Oh, she's about to get confused. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. And then Chrono's about to get dinged as well. So mid-tonic was like 200, so I think that'll actually be enough to save him. But yeah, you've got a lot of like sort of overlapping and sort of just unnecessary keyboard commands, where it's like you've got different commands for going up ladders, going down ladders, going upstairs, going downstairs, and then opening doors and entering doors and entering areas on the world map. Those all have like different keys on the keyboard that you need to press to do all of those different things, which is just stupid from an interface perspective. Like in terms of like the gameplay system, it's all the same basic thing. Oh, now is where we get poisoned, I think. So it's like you got like 12 different keys for different versions of transition to a different screen based on a thing you're standing on. Like you could very easily compress all of those different commands into one. They were just, I don't know, less sensible about interfaces back then. Like, they were thinking about it less in terms of game design and more in terms of, like, realism. Well, it's like going upstairs and going downstairs. Those aren't the same thing, so we want to have a different command for going up the stairs versus going down the stairs. And the other thing is that the stairs look the same either way. No matter, like, on the world map, like, the stairs look the same regardless, so you don't know whether they're... So it might take you 2 tries to figure out whether they are upstairs or downstairs that you're going down. Oh shit, I think we're about to get fucked, actually, from his eye laser attack here. I think we dropped the ball on that. Yep. Oh, nope. Because, yeah, I know once he gets to the end of his kind of spell rotation, he's going to do a big laser attack, and Chrono's going to take like 700 damage. Okay, I'm probably going to get shit... Or, okay, I'm not going to get shit for anything I say, because because not enough people are ever going to see it, but there is a controversial figure on the internet. Or not really controversial, because he's not super well known, but there's a site called, I think it's now called culture.vg. That's run by a dude named Icy Calm. Or I think his real name is something like, I don't know, he goes by 2 names. He goes by Alex Kierkegaard and also Icy Calm. And he's got a bunch of, and he's like a very abrasive type of dude. Like, he's going around, like, he's one of those types of, like, internet edgelords who will go around, like, calling people nigger faggots and stuff like that for disagreeing with him. So he's not a very pleasant dude to interact with. But he has a few good articles on this culture.vg site, and one of them is actually his article on the history of RPGs. He actually has an article where he goes in depth onto like the history of like how tabletop RPGs originated and how those kind of led in to computer RPGs and how that led into JRPGs and sort of what elements made the transition across each kind of genre shift. That's the wrong term, but yeah, he does a really good job of just sort of tracking the way that the whole notion, the concept of the RPG sort of propagated across these different formats and different periods of time. I'll have to look it up sometime, but yeah, it's a really good article actually that with a lot of good information about yeah, the history of RPGs and how they kind of developed over time, both on the tabletop and going forward onto the PC and console. Actually, this fight is actually super easy now that I actually kind of know what the tricks are. Because the first time I got surprised a couple times by it's like, oh shit, he can do 700 damage out of nowhere. But when you know that 700 damage out of nowhere is coming at you, you can prepare for it, and then there's just nothing to it. Nothing but Ice Sword 2 over and over again. And this is the kind of thing I mean when I say that these games weren't super strategic, and that there wasn't a lot going on in terms of gameplay. Like, it's all superficial. It's like it's barely enough to keep the player interested. Keep the player kind of engaged enough to move forward with the story. Okay, because yeah, Marl's haste wore off there, and the smart thing would have, in the long term, would have been to rehaste her, but I gambled on the fact that this guy was almost dead and maybe would only need a couple more ice swords. I mean, sure, in a sense, like every video game, or I guess most video games, you're controlling a character. Or I guess even a sense, because when I say most games, I was thinking stuff like strategy games where you're actually controlling an army or something like that. But even in a game like that, in a sense, you're playing a character. You're controlling the commander of the army who's giving commands to all the different units and all of that. It's just sort of a matter of I don't know how to describe it. I guess the level of abstraction with regards to your level of control over the character. Like, you can imagine like a one-to-one level of like character control where you're in like the holodeck or something, and like your character, like you map, like the inputs, your sort of physical motions are mapped one-to-one to your motions in the game, because you're literally inside the game. Or VR would be like a step down from that, where it's like you move your hand like this in real life, and it moves your character's hand like this in the game. So you could look at it in terms of like the holodeck or VR or something like that. So in that sense, yeah, you'd be like very. You would be like, yeah, becoming your character in an almost literal sense. Whereas other games sort of they add levels of interface, or add an interface and sort of abstract things away so that you can have your character do things, give your character a wider range of actions at the cost of not having that one-to-one correlation between input and output. I feel like I don't think about. I would be able to talk about these types of issues more clearly if I actually, like, wrote an article or something about it at some point. But I'm lazy, so I'm never going to. So I'm just going to continue, just like blabbing on, like an idiot about things I don't know how to communicate. I watch the streams. Like, I rewatch like some of my streams and YouTube videos sometimes, and often a lot of the time what I think is good discussion is actually not good discussion, and I'm actually just like completely fucking up and using the wrong words for everything, and like completely expressing the opposite of what I intend to a lot of the time just from using the wrong words. So I should be more wary about discussing these types of topics on stream than I am. But I enjoy doing it, so I just like dive right in anyways, even though I probably shouldn't. Or actually... Okay, we'll give it one Ice Sword, too, and then we'll see if anyone needs healing. Oh boy, actually we're probably going to need a Mega Elixir after this, so I think I'm going to have Chrono Luminaire and Marl. And yeah, I really can't be going in depth on any kind of topic of interest anyways, because I've got to focus on not getting stomped by Lavos here. Okay, so we're going to Luminaire, we're going to Mega Elixir, and we only got 16 of those. So, I guess we kind of got to ration them, although I don't think that Lavos is actually tough enough for us to need too many of them. Okay, and then now we should be able to just Ice Sword this fool to death. Or actually, you know what? I think I'm actually just going to do just going to go for all targets here, because I actually do want to take out the center bit before he does anything annoying. And actually, I think we get more damage this way than with the Ice Sword anyways. Yeah, Ice Sword is like, what, 2,600 damage? Okay, and actually this is like 21, but still. I do want to take out that center bit. So we're just going to keep doing this, and then go back to the Ice Swords. Actually, yeah, it is very similar to the Super Metroid Power Bomb. Well, this guy has a lot more HP than I remembered. Whatever, we're just gonna keep doing it. That's not great. Or actually, no, that's actually better that he did that now than after we killed the center bit. Because that could have literally just happened. If we had killed the center bit with the previous attack, then he would have just revived it instantly right there. Oh shit, Kronos maybe about to go down? No, he's at full health, we're fine. Oh shit. We might actually have to chug another Mega Elixir here. Oh shit, my red light is blinking. I'm getting my upload speed is getting fucked right now. Oh shit. Never seen that before. Okay, that's actually fine, because he needed a full heal anyways, so we're gonna life too, and then I will probably need to, Is everything still coming through for you alright over there, Saturn? Oh, now we're down to 0. Fuck. I'm, like, right in the fucking middle of it. Why now, all of a sudden? Like, I've had it before where when I'm starting up a stream, like, everything will go to shit, and, like, I'll start suddenly getting, like, 0 upload speed. I've never had it happen, like in the middle of a stream before. Okay, and looks like we're back to normal, so it looks like it was just a temporary thing. Okay, false alarm. Nothing is broken. Everything is fine. I mean, that double tech of theirs is pretty nasty, but yeah, my internet's back up to normal, so yeah, let me know in a minute if it's, back up to full. But yeah, we're gonna Luminaire. Yeah, I think actually Ice Sword. Oh, fuck. Okay, that's how that works. Okay, we're gonna need to do something about that then. Okay, so we're gonna make with the healing. And I guess Chrono's gonna actually have to confuse on the left bit. I mean, or I guess we could just, like, tank the damage, but I don't think that's smart. Oh, he even counterattacks if I hit the left one. Okay, that's kind of shitty. We should never do this again. Okay, yeah, I would have actually been better off leaving the center bit alive right here. And then after I kill this left one, he's just going to revive the center one anyways. Okay, there we go. Now we can go back to Ice Swords. And now his defense is back up. And now his defense is back down. Good, good. Glad we got all that sorted out. It's up, it's down, it's all around. And now it's off again. We've actually not made very much progress on this thing at all, so this is going to take quite a few ice swords. In fact, he's probably going to revive the others like a couple times by the time we get through this. Oh, haste is so good, though. Like, I think it might even be faster than double speed. Like, it seems like we're getting more than twice as many attacks off for each one of the enemy's attacks. Like, yeah, look at that. This guy's just getting nothing off right now. I mean, I don't think this guy actually can attack. He's just, like, sitting idle until he can revive the other parts. Oh, shoot. I think she's done. I think Marl is spent. Yep, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna do it smart this time. And we're just gonna take out the left bit. Actually, we might as well just elixir. We have tons. Oh shit! I used the wrong character. Damn it! That was Chrono who used that. Son of a bitch. I don't know what we do then. I guess we just wait for Chrono to do his thing. Oh shit! I went for the wrong target now too. That was weird. I hit left and it went to the right. I guess the ordering on the targets must like get shifted around or something once you kill them. Oh, is she dead after this? Oh shit! Very nearly. Oh well, she's actually got nothing better to do right now, so she can just heal herself. Okay, so you have to hit right if you want to hit the one on the left. Yeah, the ordering of the targets here must have gotten shifted around or something, because I killed them in a weird order just before. Oh, I think Chrono's, oh no, I think Marl's unhasted now? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Oh shit. Now they're both disabled. Now they're both confusable. This could go really, really badly. This last phase, the previous phase of the fight actually went more smoothly the first time around, but... Oh, shit. Actually, I think that might just be like a straight half damage type thing. Anyways, I'm actually not too concerned about it, though, so we're just gonna keep on going with the Ice Sword. If he kills Chrono, we'll just do a life 2 on him. Oh yeah, the hastes are wearing off. Okay, we're gonna do Luminaire, and then Marl's gonna haste everyone again. Come on, surely we've got to be getting close. Oh, his power's restored. I have no idea why, though. Okay, thankfully this will be the last time we have to do this. Every other time beyond this is going to be way easier because we'll have 3 characters in the party. Oh, right, his defense is back up. This is not even worth it. I could do a preemptive haste on... Ooh. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay, it's a good thing we didn't waste time casting the heal on him because he was just going to die anyways. Okay, so that attack really sucks. I hope he doesn't use it again. And we're gonna haste. I wasn't paying attention. Did his defense switch back off? Whatever, we're gonna hit him anyways. Come on. Okay, looks like it's back off. Oh, and that got him. Okay. Okay, so this is New Game Plus ending number 2. And then, yeah, the next one after this will be at that point I mentioned earlier, after we first get to the end of time. Because, yeah, now we go to the trial, and then we don't have the chance to fight Lavos again until we go through the future, and then go to the end of time. think we might actually do that. I think I'm because I don't know how long I want to keep going with the like in one playthrough. How long I want to do with this because this is like a lot of repetitive stuff. Like it's all like story. It's all like super easy gameplay with our end game characters. It's all story stuff we've seen before because we just played through this game like less than a month ago, or I guess about a month ago, and it's just other than that, the most interesting part is just seeing the endings and fighting Lavos over and over again, I guess. Oh, and now we're just back here. Like, did nothing happen? What is this? What? Wearing our disguise again. Okay, so this is the ending. Apparently the princess is... Did you hear that? Did that guy just ribbit at me? Are they all just, like, saying... Huh. Okay, so they're just all going to comment on the princess's disguise. Whatever it is. And, What? Normally again. Okay, this is... So it's been, like... As long as it's been since, like, the last time I played this, like, I... Okay, looks like this is all the same. Yep, this is fun. Oop. Ah, there we go. But yeah, like, I've played this game a bunch of times, but it's not very often at all that I'll go back for all of the New Game Plus endings. Like, I think I might have seen... Like, I probably got each of them once way back when I first played this game, and I probably got each... And yeah, I got each of them once in the DS version. So I've basically, like, yeah, seen each of these endings, like, twice in the last, like, 20 years or whatever. So it's like I'm not entirely sure what we're in for with all of these. This is really strange, though. They're all riveting at me. And actually, they all have green hair, but is that normal? Did they always... Or no, she doesn't. Yeah, that's just what they look like normally. Did Marl just rivet at me? And is he gonna have like a frog face or something? What? 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 Okay, so I guess... Okay, so they said wedding photos. Is that what we're gonna get? Is that the twist here as a result of us not going through and doing the rest of the medieval story? Like Queen Lean and it ended up getting married to Frog, and then all of her descendants are like half human, half frog people? Yep, that's literally what happened. The Queen married Frog for some reason. And now Marl and all of her ancestors are frog people. Oh, hey, that's like the sprite for like the scholars in Zeal, like the priest there behind the altar. This is the type of thing we're in for too. Like it's that's cute. Okay, so yeah, that's the frog ending for yeah, beating Lavos after you get back from the Middle Ages. And yeah, this is the type of thing we're in for. Like, and yeah, the previous ending was just like a stupid thing where it's the developers all stop in and say hi and talk about how shitty their lives are and how overworked they are. But and yeah, so it's most like Oh yeah, and I had been meaning to talk about that actually, and I guess I will once we get back from a break. I'm gonna. Okay, so it is gonna take us back to the title screen. Okay, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a break right now. I just have to go to the bathroom real quick, so I'm going to just put on some music, and when we get back, I'll finish that thought I was about to go into. Oh, where's my... Oh, there it is. Webcam, mic off.